People are spending more time than ever on the roads getting to and from work. One reason, the high cost of Bay Area homes. According to the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, commute times are 9% longer this year than last. One reason may be more people commuting longer distances, so-called supercommuters driving from places like Stockton, Gilroy, or Vacaville to their jobs in San Francisco, San Jose, or Oakland. You can put Kristen Culver in that supercommuter category. She commutes 82 miles each way from Gilroy to her job in San Francisco.
We weren't interested in playing the real estate game in the Bay Area of, multiple offers, buying a house you can barely afford, something that's a tear down that you wouldn't really ever want to live in, but that's kind of your only option. We decided we wanted to buy a beautiful house in a great school district, and a little bit of extra time on the road was worth that financial upside to us.
Culver works in the tech industry and says she makes a decent salary, but also says that isn't enough to live where her parents and grandparents did in Redwood City.
When I am on the train and I see the stop for Redwood City, I do think to myself, gosh, it'd be nice to get off right here.
According to the San Francisco Planning and Research Association, or SPUR, most people still drive to work, which makes commutes from faraway suburbs even longer. Real estate experts say that has placed a premium on close-in suburbs, causing a sustained increase in housing prices. For Tiffany Stern, growing up in Oakland doesn't mean she can afford to live there. Instead, she drives 71 miles from Stockton to her job in Jack London Square.
Oakland is too expensive. I can't really afford to stay out here on my own. I don't have a partner or anything, so it's pretty expensive.
For both women and many others, living far away comes at a cost. More money spent on gas and more time.
They don't think about how long it takes, it takes a lot of time out of the day, For my day, it takes at least like 4 to 5 hours out of my day when I could be doing something else.
I sacrifice time with my baby. I have a young baby, and so some days I don't get to put her to bed, and I'm out the door before she wakes up.
I know. I mean, that sacrifice, I understand. It's like I was commuting at one point 1 hour and 1 hour,
Right.
which is nothing compared to some of these. But I would get mad. I would be angry in the car, saying I'm losing time with the family.
And it's astounding. All of us have lived in the Bay Area for pretty much all our lives. How it changed dramatically in the last 5 to 10 years. I mean, it was, certain areas are more expensive. But now, I mean, it's just, you can't afford to buy a house in San Francisco unless you're wealthy.
Well, I always go back. I grew up in Livermore, and people would never, ever dream of living in Livermore and working in San Francisco. These days, Livermore is, kind of close-ish.
Yeah,
so,
hop, skip, and a jump compared to others. For more on the high cost of housing in the Bay Area, we're joined live in studio by real estate agent David Gunderman, who actually has a new listing of a home in Piedmont, $5.25 million. Nice little starter.
It's an
for those
extraordinary
people,
home, yes.
first people. I mean, can you believe where we are now compared to 10 years ago? That we're even talking about in that city, 5.25.
It's shocking. I mean, it's just been such a steady climb, and it's disparaging. It's very hard for consumers to wrap their heads around it. But we're in the middle of a tech gold rush. We have limited geography. People want to live here. The job growth has been just climbing, and the consequence of that is that our housing prices just continue to soar.
Would you say buying any house now, if you can get in, is a good investment?
Oh, good investment is a hard conversation. There's always these people who think we're in some sort of bubble, but I will say compared to 2006 or that age, the lending market feels healthy. And if you look at the slow housing starts, the fact that there's limited construction happening, it still feels like a pretty sound investment to me.
average home price in San Francisco right now is $1.5 million.
Yeah.
If you go out to Antioch, you're right around $400,000. In Modesto, it's $266,000 for a home. So financially, do you find a lot of clients are doing that math?
I don't see clients going out for these super commutes that we're talking about today, but what I see people doing is leaving the area. I see a lot of people cashing out and just getting out.
Going to Oregon, going to Colorado.
Exactly right. That's what I'm experiencing more. I mean, signing up for a commute like that is a major lifestyle choice, and hearing that woman talk about the sacrifice of not putting her baby to sleep is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I find that people really are looking for ways to commute where they're not the leader of the commute. They don't want to be behind the wheel. They're looking for casual carpools and Transbay buses, and obviously BART. Ferry is a glorious commute, but we're just looking for ways to make that time productive where they can not be stressed and behind the wheel.
So coming up on the fourth quarter here, and people at home who may be looking to buy a house, do you expect the supply to pop in the fourth quarter?
No, it usually dwindles. It's not a good time.
Spring is the time, right?
Spring is the time, although not necessarily for buyers. I mean, the buyer opportunities actually get a little more frothy this time of year. People tend to there's a trajectory to sort of the human experience, and people tend to hibernate this time of year. So when we have buyers, especially if their finances are a little shaky or they're not as strong a profile, this is really their time of year.
What's it going to take to get more inventory? Because that's why prices are so high. One reason, right?
People have moved to Colorado.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. That's the $64,000 question. That's a hard one for us.
Who are winning the battles and then go? I mean, if you don't have 20%. You're not going to get the house.
Strategy is key. That's the whole game, is strategy. Because if you have money, that's great. But if you're not somebody who's sitting on just buckets of cash, then you have to be very strategic about how to proceed. And that's when you want to team up with a really great agent and specifically a really great lender. Because if you can get your loan completely underwritten and find these avenues to make your terms of your offer more attractive by responsibly removing contingencies where you can, that can really help you get to the front of the line.
Write a nice letter.
Write a nice letter. Exactly.
We wrote a nice letter.
David Gunderman, thank you. Good luck on that new listing. We will be right back after the break.
Man, 5.25. So if we all went in together, we still could not afford it.
I'll get the back house.
We sold our home in Oakland to buy another.